Hi, everybody. It is Friday, February 12th, 2021, just before our February break. And I wanted to do this short summary video of the unit that we finished today on the introduction of one of our threads, one of our themes of history, our pursuit of equal protection. Um, as I mentioned in class, we're going to use four threads, one being equal protection, the other one being national and global expansion, followed by the industrial technological revolution and the the fourth is our changing of our culture and demographics of our country. I wanted to give you the introduction to the equal protection theme, and then we'll come back to that later in the semester and fill in some of the events, some of the background of the 1950s and 1960s with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and a variety of civil rights leaders and events. But I wanted to at least open up that thematic thread for you. The next theme that we're going to go into is the global expansion of empires around the world, from the Greeks to the Romans to the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union to the issues now facing us in 2021, the superpowers, Russia, the United States, China. This would include what the things that brought about World War I, World War II, and what role the industrial era played in bringing about these global issues and global conflicts. So we'll shift over to the global issues when we come back in terms of power struggle between the Eastern and Western Hemisphere, and then come back around to the equal protection issues later on in the semester. Just to review briefly to make sure that all the cohorts are on the same position, have the same understanding. The slideshow we went through, it included this opening slide between the battling and conflicting regions of the state, the Confederacy represented by the Confederate flag and the flag of the United States, the Union during the Civil War. I spent a little bit more time on this, understanding that you really didn't get to this in depth in your sophomore year. But these two flags, these two conflicting figures represent not just a war between two regions of the country, but a conflict of value systems, belief systems. And it's easier to win a war. In a conflict, there's a winner and a loser. There's one side that surrenders and one side that's victorious. But in this situation, it was a value system. It was a belief system that still plays a major role in our country today. So we went through these slides. We had the three quotes that I think are fairly important to get a sense of the nature of our investigation and our research. What is equal protection? Why is it so difficult? We boiled that down into it's difficult to deal with a value, a belief system that's been passed on from generation to generation. If you're taught a certain way, it's hard to pass laws or to change that cultural perspective. We talked about the perceptual lens in the earlier class. This right here, we focus on slavery and that issue, but really the issues that we're dealing with have to do with all sorts of belief systems that we have to deal with, not only racism, but anti-Semitism, nativism, income inequality in our country, immigration, healthcare, education and employment opportunities. The impact of COVID-19 is the most recent example of inequality of access to our healthcare system, and also inequality in terms of employment opportunities. We took a look at We the People. We've discussed that We the People is most people reading that phrase of the opening to our Constitution thinks that it applies to everybody, as it should. But we know that that definition is oftentimes in the control of those who are in control of our nation and to our thought process. Traditionally, they're white, they're men, and they're of the Christian faith, and sometimes they believe that there's no room at the kitchen table for anyone else if it's to maintain their control and power. There's always been a battle between those who want to welcome people into the country, into the land of opportunity, and those who want to preserve their power and control. It's a constant battle that we've been facing from the 1700s to 2021. So who defines we the people? We've talked about that. Went to the video in terms of what is privilege. It's a quite telling video. Then we went into the history of Black Lives Matter and went through the founding of that movement. It's not so much that other lives don't matter, but oftentimes people of in our country don't have to make the point that their life matters. It's assumed that it does. But those of a minority group, those such as Latinos or immigrants or those of color, oftentimes have to say, hey, listen, the laws apply to me. We the people applies to me. My life does matter. It's hard for those that have never had to justify their lives or their existence hasn't been challenged to understand the background of Black Lives Matter. But we've discussed that, went through it. That's always countered by the politics of white supremacy. You always see the Confederate flag in the background as the symbol of that. Athletes have always played a role in trying to bring about social change, social awareness. We talked about the statues, the video of the statues. It's just not history, it's symbolism and what they symbolize, like the Confederate flag. Here's a cartoon that we can deal with racism, but we've got systematic racism, which is built into our culture that we have to deal with. And then this final video, the progress, putting Black lives and Black achievements into perspective. All three good videos. This goes along with the organizer. If you look at the class organizer and match it to the slides, and I've tried to do that for you, the slides, my notes, my thoughts, and the focusing question, it will bring you through the class organizer and bring you through the class presentation, okay? And it goes all the way through to the final few videos. Even though the original class organizer did not have these last three videos, if you just want to look at these and think about what the questions they're asking you, that will help you understand the issue, okay? And tied into all this is a prompt assignment, 2 prompts. Prompt 1 deals with what is your interpretation of Mr. Baldwin's quotes as it relates to the study of history. And the second is how do the terms Black Lives Matters and white supremacy reflect our search for the true meaning of we the people. So just a hint here, everything is connected, everything is dovetailed to start with the class presentation, use the class organizer to understand what's being presented to you, and then tied into all that are these two prompts. If you spend a little time going through each of these pieces of resources, pieces of evidence for you, you'll be able to do very well and thoughtfully answer these questions in the prompt and thoughtfully make it through the class organizer. Okay? So when we come back, we'll start a new unit on global conflict, global empires. I'll be available to help you through the week. If you ever want to email me, these, by the way, in the prompt, These are all linked up. You can see that they're linked to the slide in the slideshow if you want to see it. I'm trying to get rid of that. Here we go. Again, this was designed just to help you and make sure everybody's on the same page. I really appreciated your interaction and your attention over the last few weeks. I know it hasn't been easy. And enjoy your break. And stay warm, stay safe. And I'll see you on our return after the February vacation. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.